Degenerates unite. Bellular has done it again. Here is the way to break the new XP event. Let's see what the most degenerative ways to level up are right now in the game. Finding every exploit in the new XP event. If you don't know, the Winds of Change, or whatever it's called. Giving you extra XP in the game right now. This is a really... Winds of Mysterious Fortune, I should say. This is a really good event to level up in. And evidently, there's a really good way to exploit it as well. Let's see what Bellular has found out here.
Today I'm going to walk you through an amazing opportunity in World of Warcraft. So basically, how does this sound?
The way Bellular just said, how does this sound? And then the hub fucking... That was so perfectly timed. I'm going to have to pause blurps, though. That's unfortunate.
You're going to get up to 85% bonus XP. You're going to get a way to level from level 10 through to level 70 in around 2 hours, and you're going to get enough XP potions not just to last you for this event, no, to actually last you for years. With that said, okay, we're pretty much done. It's also time to build your online base. Player housing isn't here yet, but Squarespace, today's sponsor, lets you literally build your home online, and they make it easier, faster, and less fictitious than anyone else.
Do you think the hub uses Squarespace?
It's all because of the new way to build a site with design intelligence. I'll walk you through all of it. So first, you use Blueprint, and that guides you through making your own template. And it really is quite amazing. It basically helps you select what sorts of pages you need, what fonts are best, what color palette to use, and by Squarespace curating all of those and understanding your needs, they keep you right. So you don't need to be a designer. And that extends to adding new features.
Great.
That means things like selling digital and physical goods.
Wow.
You can do courses. You can do bookings, whether that's digital or maybe, I don't know, maybe you do a yoga studio. And they even have native video. Yes, native video, not just an embed, so it looks real pro. And the real killer feature is it's all designed to work together. So rather than a bunch of cobbled together features from loads of different services with inconsistent designs, you actually get a seamless, professional site, and that means your customers have a brilliant first impression. And whenever they do convert,
I hope the OnlyFans girls are paying attention to this.
And
I hope they use code
able
Bellular.
to buy seamlessly with Squarespace payments.
Pre-watched reactions.
Absolutely fantastic. So it's the complete package, it's everything you need, and by following my link at squarespace.com/BellularGaming, you can build your site for free.
10% off.
When you're ready to go live, just use my code, BellularGaming.
Amazing.
You get 10% off your first purchase of a site or domain.
Amazing.
Now, obviously, this is all via the Winds of Mysterious Fortune. That's an event that runs from now until May 21st.
Right.
And in this event, right, we get 20% XP overall, right? 20% XP buff. We get 200% buff to our War Within reputation gains
Very
for
nice.
Renowns. And then we get a 300% renown buff for the Dragonflight ones. But on top of
He misspoke. It's 200%.
that, mobs and quests in the Dragonflight and War Within zones drop
3,
bags, and those bags contain 10% XP potions. Now, you might just think, okay, so the event is just, I go and I do some questing and I level up faster.
Right.
Thanks, Michael, that's not really much of a guide. Yeah, you'd be right, but that's not what we're doing. There is so much you can do today.
I did not pre-watch this, but I have a feeling what he's about to get into is the ability to keep... There's flasks that are going to allow you to level up quicker. You're going to be able to keep those beyond this event. So that might be what he talks about right now, but...
So let's stack all of our buffs together. Let's look at the best methods and get loads of potions. But before that, there's one thing you need to do. Log into every character, right? And park them in a capital city. And the reason why is you actually need to log into a freshly created character for that character to start accruing rested XP. And if you've got an alt that's just, you know, sitting in some random place, it will get rested XP extremely slowly. I know it's a bit tedious to go through all your alts and do that, but seriously, it's like 5 minutes of work to literally save you hours leveling.
Yeah, I remember leveling up in vanilla WoW back when I first started playing WoW. It was like considered blasphemy to log out and not be in an inn. How could you not get rested XP? That was a big deal. Also, I wasn't allowed to play on weekdays because my parents didn't want me to fail out of school because of WoW. So I used to get rested XP 5 days a week, and then on Friday after school, I'd get home, log the fuck in, and level the shit up. All rested for like 2 days straight.
Before we cook, we've got to get our ingredients together, so let's talk about all the different buffs that we can stack up for this. Number 1, 20% buff to all sources just from this event being active. That'll always be there in your character. Then there's the potions. Those are 10%, but they are for mob and quest XP. Then there's war mode. That's 10% again for mob and quest XP. Then there's the draft of 10 lands. This is 10%, and you can buy these with 5 service medals. Now, the thing is, these are from BFA. They're only active up to level 49, and and the service medals come from doing Battle for Azeroth world quests, war fronts, and then the world quests that are in the war fronts.
Ooh, I wonder how much you get from war fronts, because those things were quick and easy to do. You could really pump those out.
Zones. But to be completely honest with you, I don't really think they're worth the effort, and if you're getting those service medals, you should probably put them towards the various different collectibles. The next buff we can stack is the Darkmoon Faire buff. Now, the Darkmoon Faire is in from the 4th of May through to the 11th, and you can go to the fair and like ride the carousel to get the buff, but that kind of blows, right? Because then you just have got to go back to the Darkmoon Faire again. And
and if you die, you lose that buff, so you got to go back and do it again.
I don't really know why you would do that. I mean, surely the 10% XP buff would be completely obliterated by the extra travel time. The good news is you don't have to do any of that, and you can still get the buff. You just need to go to this vendor, right, and buy the Darkmoon top hats. These are class because basically you can use them whenever you want.
This gives. Remember when I got confused and I thought you had to wear the top hat while riding the ride to get the buff? Remember that? Yeah, so getting these top hats, buying a bunch of these, this is the way to do it.
It's on travel time.
It's always in your bag. If you die, you just put a top hat on.
All of your XP gains, and they only cost 10 prize tokens, so absolutely load up on some of them.
It only works during the fair event. Yeah, you can't just keep that in your bag. This is true.
The big XP boost then is the Warband boost. This is up to 25%. You get 5% for every character at max level, with it capping at 25.
Oh my God, I forgot about
that. Various different buffs. The next thing then is event potions. We're going to get a shitload of them, and we're going to get them the fastest way we can.
Okay. Let's see how we get them quickly.
I had absolutely no idea the event potions work like this, where basically they don't go away when the event ends. I think we all just assume that they did, but it's pretty nice to know that they won't. That means that whenever
there's one thing about this
they'll just stay around.
That I'm having a hard time understanding. Is Blizzard going to really allow these things to be used after this expansion? Because I know the degenerative people that WoW players are, people will fucking hold on to these things until midnight launches, and then they'll just chug them right before midnight launches or the night of, and then just freaking start leveling up, and then you'll basically have Race to World First cap level just be about, well, who kept their bottle of mysterious wisdoms in their bags.
In your account pretty much forever.
We'll see.
Which is always handy for
As of right now, though, these things never go away, which is crazy.
New alts. So these are found exclusively in the bags.
They did it in WoD, I think. Was there something that allowed you to level up?
And the potions are warbound, so you can get them in your main, send them to your alts, or do anything like that. Now, there's a fast method, and then there's a very fast method. I'll do the fast method first. So characters have got a real high chance of getting one of these from the pristine bag each day. That's the highest quality bag. Okay. Now, the other bags do, of course, drop them. They've got a lower drop chance, though. So what you can do then is just get level 10 plus characters, bring them into Dragonflight, and just do a few quests. Pretty soon, you'll get one of those purple bags, you'll get yourself a potion, and you can just rinse and repeat that on loads and loads of different characters. And with those potions lasting for 2 hours, you will absolutely get potions way faster than you use them. But what if I told you there is an even better way? So this is the faster method, right? So as I said, what we want is those pristine bags. Now here's a really cool thing. The pristine bags have a 100% drop chance from the first elite you kill every day.
Really?
But even better, you don't actually have to go and find an elite. You can just teleport to one. So if you're under level 70, what you can do is Ruby Life Pools as a follower dungeon. Now, the first mob in that dungeon is an elite, so basically, queue up for the follower dungeon.
Who figures this shit out? Who the hell's this person? It's unbelievable. So you just go port over to Ruby Life Pools as a follower dungeon and kill the first mob in there, which is literally right at the entrance.
Go into the dungeon, maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds later, you'll kill that mob, you'll get your potion. And it's a warbound potion. And you can just rotate through all of your characters. As long as they're level 10 plus, you can just do that. It's absurdly powerful. And if you're level 7...
As long as they're level 10 plus, so you could just make Death Knights and Demon Hunters and just keep doing this on your warband? That's insane. Because those tunes are already level 10 when you make them. They're already above level 10. What the hell? That's broken as shit.
1+, by the way, you can do the exact same thing, but for Darkmoon Cleft. Remember, that's once per day per character, but man, if you cycle through a whole bunch
all
of
the allied races
you will
too, yeah.
Be swimming in those potions. Okay, so we know how to stack all of our buffs. We've got loads of potions. Next, I've got an already powerful method that's, with this, even better.
So there's people farming those potions now, doing it this strategy, for sure.
Earthen characters have got a real
What's the old adage? How does it go? If it can happen, it will happen, or something like. Who the hell said that? Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong, but anyways, basically that's the motto of World of Warcraft when it comes to degeneracy, right? If it can be done, it will be done. Players will find the exploits.
Passive that gives them 200% bonus XP to exploration. That's just the XP that you get whenever you like reveal.
I think they'll try to brand people for this.
Now, if you're thinking, okay, but I don't want my ult.
It's not really that game breaking. All they're doing is queuing up for a dungeon. Now, if you find somebody making 15 Death Knights, is that exploitative? I don't know. Maybe they'll just limit the amount of pots you can get eventually for this shit. But yeah, right now I can't see somebody really getting banned for this.
To be an earthen. Well, there's actually something for you, but I'll get to that after I explain the method.
No, this Deadric, if it exists, there's porn of it. Isn't that like rule 89 or 85 or something like that? That's a different thing I'm not talking about that.
Called Wide-Eyed
But yeah, that's also
there
true.
in all of your earthen, and what's pretty cool is that it stacks with the base 20% buff that you'll get from this event, the Dark Moon Fair buff, and also the Warband bonus, as well as rest of XP. And that means in total, you can get plus 265% XP, just, flying around the place. But if you want to make this even better, there's a community add-on that's called Distinct Earthen Skyriding. This add-on basically just puts the whole thing in autopilot.
Jeez.
And if you combine that with TomTom, well, you'll just get a big arrow.
So this is the Earthen strategy.
You can go and follow. And it's pretty clear to me that people are sleeping on this because the Distinct Earthen Skyriding add-on has actually only got 40,000 downloads. So a lot of people could benefit from this. It really is easy. For our results, we got from level 28 through to 70 in under 2 hours. That means that getting from 10 to 70
28
is
to 70
around 2.5 hours. No.
What? That is insane. Just flying around with this add-on?
I do have a big warning for you. Do not use
feels like
the
ad placement.
Warband map to everywhere all at once. It's one of the Warband spells that you'll have. Of course, if you use that, it will, reveal the entire map. And that means you'll be able to get 0 XP from this method. That's all well and good, but what if you don't like Earthen? Okay. I hate that this is basically just me saying, hey, go to the company.
Well, he's going to race. I was just about to say, just race transfer. Make him an Earthen, level up this stupid way, and then just race change.
Store and spend some money. But if what you want is a high-level character...
You would essentially be saving money, though, because you're paying less than a character boost. Race changes are less money than a character boost is, so you basically be boosting whatever you want for the price of a race change.
Very, very quickly.
If you want an Earthen, then it's even
a hell of a lot cheaper than buying a level boost. So here's the deal. Race changes are currently 30% off.
Oh,
obviously,
and this.
You can buy those race changes with real money, but also with Battle.net balance, and you can turn WoW tokens into BNet balance. So as an example, if you've got like 500k, a million gold, if you're swimming in gold, well, this
pre-watch,
is free to you. Anyway, one race change is £13.30, 3 is £25.90, and 6 is £42. That ends up being $7 for a race change if you buy them in bulk with the discount. Now, a level boost is still on discount right now. They will get you an instant level 70, and on discount, they're £32. So basically, you could use this method, right? Get yourself a level 70 Earthen in about 2.5 hours, then you could buy a race change, and it will be, whatever you want.
Crazy.
That will be a hell of a lot cheaper than not spending the 2 hours, but spending a hell of a lot more money to get an instant level 70.
At least make sure that the Earthen that you make is on the correct faction, right? You don't want to have to pay for a faction change and then a race change. Just at least make sure that you put the Earthen on the right faction.
70 via the boost. And of course, if you, like me, have just got a few race changes sitting there in your account unused, well, this one's even more alluring. But okay, that's that done.
Wow.
Next, another method that I've wanted to shout out for ages that works real well with this. No matter the specific method, I think the big problem with leveling is it can end up being a bit boring if you want loads of characters. So here's a really powerful option that works real well with this event. I first learned about this technique from Archvelder. He's a very creative thinker, and this is just awesome. So here's the deal, right?
Hacks.
If you don't want a quest and you don't want to dungeon, what you can instead do is you can go and kill rares. Now, this has existed as a while for a technique, but the War Within makes it even better because your alts can now dragon ride from level 10. That means you can zoom around the world fast, and that's good because, well, low-level zone rare mobs actually drop a ton of XP. So what you can do is you can fly around a zone, probably use an add-on like Silver Dragon or something to, have the rares like pop up in your screen super easy. You go, you kill the rare, you get a whole bunch of XP. And because you're dragon riding around these really, really small zones that were designed for like horses and feet, well, you'll just get a hell of a lot of XP per hour. But then there will be a problem. You'll rapidly find yourself running out of rares, and this is where there's a really cool solution. So 4 phases exist of these low-level zones.
Jesus Christ. I was about to say, don't tell me you're toggling war mode on and off. Oh my god.
War mode phase, the war mode phase, then you've got the chromie time war mode phase, and the chromie time no war mode phase. And each one of these phases has got its
degeneracy at its finest. Seriously. Degeneracy at its finest.
Own set of spawns, so if you've cleared out one phase, you can just hop into another one and clear everything out
and by the time you've rotated through the 4 phases, the first phase is back up. Yeah.
But of course, there's a problem with that. Chromie time is toggled on or off in either Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and then War Mode is toggled in capital cities.
So then you either do this in Duratan or Elwyn Forest.
So what could completely destroy this method is the travel time. But don't worry, this is where an amazing discovery came in, which, funnily enough, is the Lost Dragon Scale. This feels so broken. The Lost Dragon Scale teleports you to Stormwind and Orgrimmar, and you get it from the Dragonflight campaign breadcrumb quest, which is called the Dragon Isles Await. So what you do is you pick the quest up, then you log out, then you log in again. And, well, that's it. Congratulations. You have got unlimited free ports to Stormwind.
Jeez. Okay. Unlimited free ports. There's no way this is not. The thing about Bellular making these videos is obviously Blizzard knows who Bellular is, and they're going to see this shit, and then they goodbye Dragon Scale Hearthstone. Yeah. What the hell? So you could use this infinitely to just keep porting back to the capital city. All right. Yeah, fun detective.
This item.
Yes, this is about to get nerfed.
You'd use this item to like go to the right place. It was like a little quality of life thing for people going and starting a new expansion. But as long as you don't complete that quest, you can just keep the item, and it will always spawn you.
I mean, not completing quests for items has always been a thing in WoW. If you guys remember, there was that one quest. Was it back in Classic, where like it would shine a light down on you, and your character would pose, so like people would always pick up that. I think it might have been Burning Crusade, and so everyone would pick up that quest. There was also the one that would form a bubble around you, so you could like slow fall or something. So people would pick up these quests and never turn them in. They just keep the item infinitely.
Into Orgrimmar. And what's great is that means you can toggle your chromie time.
I remember the bubble one. I had it on my mage
mode as well, which is particularly useful for this method.
Create a cool little bubble
for
around
loads of other things, but in this case, it lets you reset your phases super easy. A few quick tidbits in this one though. So first of all, you're not going to be getting a lot of gear, so you'll definitely want to use the heirloom gear because that will scale up with your character as it levels. And also, rare mob XP only scales beyond level 30 in the chromie time phases. So basically, beyond level 30, you'll only have 2 phases: chromie time no war mode and chromie time war mode. This is one of those things where, you know what, it's a bit of variety. Personally, I really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. So there's 2 ultra powerful leveling techniques to throw into your repertoire of things for your alts. But of course, the event does not just cover those. It also covers rep. And actually using rep well will save you, right? This will save you dozens of hours across your alts, across this expansion. It is absolutely worth doing now.
Yeah, it's a nice jacket.
Okay,
all right, let's see the rep. This is important.
So the War Within ones are getting a 200% XP buff. This is extreme.
He's saying, why is he saying 100 more than this thing? Is he doing that on purpose, or is he making a mistake? Because I see 100%. He just said 2, and earlier he said 300% for Dragonflight, and I see 2 here. Is he talking about after you stack everything?
Extremely useful, and I'll explain why. As renown levels increase,
Bellular's a
you
vampire,
these
Johnny. Everyone knows
quests that give you crests and keys from the various different vendors. And what's cool is this is all completely account-wide. So if you are completely maxed on all of your renowns and you log into a new character and you take it to those renown vendors, you'll be able to pick up, across all of them, hundreds of Valor Stones and crests. And this is particularly powerful.
Shit.
And it's actually powerful because of things that are sort of unique to Season 2. What's neat is you can use all of these free weathered crests to buy a complete set of item level 629 gear, which just costs
here we go. Crafting.
30
here we go.
Crests from the vendor. You don't need to use a spark. It's honestly completely amazing. And that just means you can get a guaranteed baseline level of gear on your character. I mean, you know how it is, right? You get a few lucky drops.
The seed of corruption in World of Warcraft. Fucking crafting.
but then you just end up with a bunch of slots that are super under level. This is absolutely perfect for that. You'll also get a whole bunch of carved crests, and those carved crests can be used on upgrading veteran and champion gear all the way up to item level 645. That's why you'll want those renowns maxed. As for the how, well, honestly, it's pretty easy. Number one, right? Delves. Bountiful delves actually give you a shitload of reputation for the renowns. That, of course, is humongously increased by this event. I mean, basically, you'll be able to get a full renown for a faction just by doing a bountiful delve and using the key. So absolutely do that stuff.
A bountiful delve with a key will give you a full renown for one of the cartels? That's freaking huge. Did I hear that wrong? Also, remember to pick a cartel every week. I've made that mistake.
The other thing then is side quests. One thing I've noticed is loads of players have skipped the side quests because they look at the first quest in a side quest chain, they see that it only gives them like some useless gear or like, I don't know, 50 gold, and then they skip them. Yeah, that actually is a mistake, because at the end of those side quest chains, you'll get a big chunk of renown reputation. So absolutely use this as an opportunity to just clean the map of those side quests. In doing so, you'll get a shitload of renown. And then the other thing, of course, is just do the big weeklies. Those big weeklies, of course, give you loads of renown. And if you do them, they'll be massively increased by this buff. I'll end with a few tidbits and pointers. So one date to look out for is the 14th to 21st of May. That's because it's Classic Time Walking. Now, Classic Time Walking doesn't humongously benefit from this event, but the mob kill XP will, of course, be impacted by the potions, and the 20% XP boost will apply to your Time Walking dungeons. Chain running Time Walking dungeons is an absurdly fast way to level.
Wow, do that with the what's it called? Dark Moon Fair buff too?
This will just make that even better.
Yeah, that'll be quick
Next
runs.
thing then is Warbound gear. Just a real like high bang for your buck way to spend some time is just to do the Undermine World Boss weekly. The first kill on your account will drop a guaranteed piece of Warbound champion gear, so it's always just good to do that every single week. It'll mean whenever you get alts from this whole process, you'll just have a good kickstart on them. And then a similar PSA is the Delve catch-up gear. These were completely useless bits of gear in Season 1, but in Season 2 they're actually way better. They're veteran gear, and they're actually quite far along the Delve progress track,
stuff.
The seasonal journey thing. The good news is that by now most people will have actually unlocked them, so if you've got a few thousand spare Delve coins, you can just like send your alts loads of bits of veteran gear, which is pretty useful as well. And with all that said, I've got 4 goals that you can pursue through this event. Number 1, right? Unlock your outstanding heritage armor sets. These have often got pretty neat quest lines, and you unlock them by hitting level 50 with whatever race it is. This is a great opportunity for that. The next thing then...
Not all races have these though yet, right? Has every race gotten these yet? Gnomes and goblins have gotten them. Undead, humans, orcs, Draenei trolls. Has every race gotten these? Night elves. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Maybe not. Well, the allied races have their allied race quests. Maybe everyone did get them. Gnomes, yeah. Shit.
And of course, is to max out your renowns.
Pandaren? Do Pandaren have... Pandaren don't have one yet. Yep. Yeah, pandas. Yeah, no, pandas don't have one yet. That's true.
Faster alt gearing, which I've already covered in depth. Then there is leveling new classes. I highly recommend you level up some new classes.
Tauren.
That's basically because Season 2 Turbo Boost will start around the end of this event. That'll be the perfect time to just take some new characters through this season again, and in doing so, you'll probably find stuff that you actually enjoy. And my final pointer is to act a little bit like a squirrel with those XP potions. Basically, these don't like get deleted at the end of the event. As an example, whenever there's a new Winds of Mysterious Fortune, you'll be able to use these. Whenever WoW's got an anniversary event again, which, you know, will happen this year because that's how years work, you'll be able to use these potions during that event. So absolutely, you know, just rotate through your characters, knock out those follower dungeons, and you'll be able to earn stacks and stacks of these potions, and those will last you well into the future. Okay, I hope you learned a few things you didn't know. Otherwise, if you want the latest in the WoW news, you want to check out what's happening, watch this video
max it out.
And of course, a big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring the video. You can check out their link below as well.
Of course. Yeah. Good video, good tactics. You want to use this, you know, this event to the maximum. Sure, do this stuff, be a degen, and hoard away those XP potions, because God knows a lot of people are going to do that for the next expansion. Nice video.